You just asked if we remember. I remember distinctly many, many things that all of my teachers told me at Syracuse. And there are things that oftentimes, and I remember this now when I teach too, that you can't always, as a student, express how helpful that was in the moment, because sometimes it isn't helpful in the moment. You can't absorb the lesson until years down the line that you understand that what somebody said to you about either the art and craft of writing or your work in particular was actually really useful. And one of the things that George said along these lines that you were just describing, and maybe Sal, you remember when George went up on the board and he made with chalk all these mountains. And he was like, this is the Alice Munro Mountain, and this is the Hemingway Mountain, and this is the Toni Morrison Mountain. And, whatever writer you admire, the natural impulse is to say, well, I'm going to climb that mountain. I'm going to get as close to that person as possible. I want to write like Alice Munro.
I wish I had written that.
Yes.
Any reader knows that feeling, right? Of just saying, like you want to eat it almost. You
Absolutely.
want to have it be written by, have been written by you. Yeah.
And that's where that passion is born. We fall in love with reading, and then we want to imitate those great writers. And George said, but you can't. You will never get to the top of the Alice Munro Mountain, because the only person who can be at the top of that mountain is Alice Munro. And so I remember thinking, no, there's just enough room up there. For
Move over, Alice.
And then a couple of years later, when I wrote the first half of Torch at Syracuse, and then I was out there on my own and trying to finish this novel, and there was absolutely the only mountain I could climb was the Cheryl Strayed Mountain. And I had to come to grips with the fact that it wasn't going to be as tall and pretty as the Alice Munro Mountain, but it was going to be my mountain. And so I climbed it. And I remembered that image, and it really helped me a lot.
Yeah. And then you
So
took
those
it a little literally, didn't you?
Well, then with Wild, yeah. Well, that's a whole different story. But yeah, I mean, really I think anyone in this room who's written their first book knows what I'm talking about. I think that's just that incredible feat of actually doing that thing, no matter what happens to that book. You did it. And it's harder than you ever imagined. If you do it right, and you have to finally just surrender to it and do only what you can do. Yeah. And I think that so much of this sort of the internal strength that the experience at Syracuse passed down to me was what in the end would have helped me finish that first book, which really made all the difference in the world.